Pulitzer Prize-winning author Alice Walker is here, and she has done many things besides write books. She has traveled from one end of the world to the other, either in support of people like Fidel Castro or fighting for the rights of West African women. In 1986, Steven Spielberg made a movie out of her Pulitzer Prize-winning novel, The Color Purple, and 10 years later, she is still fighting. She caused a stir in 1993 with her controversial film, Warrior Marks, and has never made a secret of her radical activist beliefs. At 53, she is the author of 16 books, which includes The Temple of My Familiar and the best-selling Possessing the Secret of Joy. Her latest book, Anything We Love Can Be Saved, is a collection of essays, letters, and speeches from throughout her life. And as always, on this program, she is always welcome, and I am especially pleased to see her this evening. Welcome back.
Well, thank you so much, Charlie. That was beautiful.
Actually, I didn't write that. You should give...
Well, whoever wrote it, you had great feeling in your
I did
delivery.
have feeling about it. I identified with it.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like feeling.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the book, and then we'll come back to some personal things about you. I want to find out everything you're doing and what's happening in San Francisco, who you're living with, all those kinds of things. You don't mind that, do you?
I certainly do. It's none of your business.
All right, let's start with the cover. Anything we love can be saved. What does that mean?
Well, it means
Is it about nature and forest and trees and all that, or something else?
No, it's about the fact that you have to love something collectively in order to save it. It's not about, you know, I love my car, and I love my island, and I love my farm. Mine, mine, mine.
I feel very strong about my possessions.
I know you do. We all do. But until we can learn to love the whole of it and to love things in a collective way, we cannot save any of it.
Well, give me an example of
Well,
that.
an example is Zora Neale Hurston. The title
Oh, man,
of the book
nice story. Great story.
is from, okay, I'm going to tell it.
All right.
So
Shut up, Charlie.
Yes. This was someone who was lost to us, whose work was lost to us, out of print for 30 years, maligned and, you know, lied about, and actually she went off to the wilds of Florida to die, basically. But because some of us loved her work, we could see her spirit shining through her work, we decided that we loved her, and we wanted other people to see what it was about her that we loved, and to test the people about whether they would love it too. And lo and behold, today millions of people love her work, adore her work, and she's not lost to us. And we did that collectively.
What do you mean we did it? We being a group of people who cared about her
One
did it
after
together.
the other. One person saying, read this, look at this, you know, doesn't this make you smile? Doesn't this make you laugh? Doesn't this make you remember who you are? And people would say, yes. This is a story I haven't even heard since my grandfather died.
Now, who was she?
She was a black woman writer who wrote and published mostly in the 30s and 40s. And she was from Florida, and an anthropologist, a really brilliant woman. And she wrote wonderful novels. She wrote great folklore. She collected things that, if she hadn't collected them, we would not have them today. Stories, music, dance. She was a great person.
Activism. Do you really believe that concentrated will can change the world?
I believe concentrated love put into action, which in my
Begins
view
with love.
is work. Yes. I think that love has to become work in order for it to manifest a change anywhere. And I have seen that in my life. You know, I've had to be an activist because I grew up in the South, as you did. You had democracy, I had fascism. I had to fight that, Charlie. And we changed the way the races exist in the South today. And we can see that. We
Because
can walk
of the
down
power
any...
of love and the power of an idea
And because of, love and nonviolence and a belief that you could actually, you know, reach someone's heart because you can reach your own heart. And what you find in your own heart does not scare you to death. So you can look at someone else and not be afraid.
Are you happy with America today?
I'm happy with myself, but of course I'm not happy with America today.
What is it about the nation, the republic, that disappoints you the most? Is it exercise of equal justice and dignity for all? Is it a failure because you think we're an imperial nation? Is it something else?
America is afraid of itself. It is totally afraid of its own history. It has never dealt with it successfully. it really thinks it's something that it isn't, you know.
We think we're something we aren't.
Yes,
What
I
is
mean,
it we
for
think
instance,
we
we
are?
think we are a democracy.
We do.
Yeah,
I do.
you do, don't you?
I
But
do.
that's because you're a white man. It's a democracy for you. It is not a democracy for black people. It is not a democracy
Why isn't it
for...
a democracy for black people?
Well, start with me, let us say. You know, Charlie, I had to risk my life in order to vote. Poor people today, black poor people, many of whom are in prison, I think you may have noticed. This is not a democracy that when you come up against a system that has crushed you for generations, the system that then puts you in prison, this is not a democracy.
I think the biggest problem America has is two things. One is race and the extent of poverty in America.
And the way that poverty is
biggest
growing.
problems
Yes.
that we have to deal with. And there are too many people who are ill-fed, ill-housed, and don't have a full share of the American dream. Too many of them, it's unacceptable. But I also think, you know, that we have made significant strides.
But you know,
And that we have grown, and that it is not a perfect process.
It isn't, but the lie of the country is that, you know, somehow this is a democracy after you have killed off the people who were here originally, you know, I mean, and enslaved the rest of us. Then you can talk about having a democracy.
Yeah, but what about the South African experience? What do you think of that? In terms of some sense, progress, some sense of...
Well, you know, my thinking on that is that when Mandela dies, it will probably revert completely to what it was before, unless people really struggle very, very
A rebirth
hard.
of apartheid?
Well, I mean, in a way, you have economic apartheid now, and my point is that until you have economic democracy, there is no other kind of democracy.
You don't take prisoners. I mean, you are tough. Where does that come from? Does that come from the tough road that you traveled?
Well, it comes from being essentially a very gentle person.
And I'm a gentle person.
With great patience.
But you turned me...
But I didn't do that.
No, I know you
But
didn't.
it's just that, you know, the truth matters. It matters, no matter how gentle you are, no matter how patient you are, and how willing you are to let people, you know, extend themselves in expressing whatever it is they want to express. Finally, there is a truth. There is a reality that is real, that is worth, you know, speaking about and speaking on and standing on.
And that reality can be, in your judgment, the absence, the distance that America has to travel to be a true democracy. That reality can be genital mutilation in Africa.
Yes.
That reality can be...
The embargo against Cuba.
The embargo against Cuba.
I mean, at some point, you know, you have to just get down to it, that this is what I believe, no matter what. This is what I believe.
Stand on principle.
Yes, absolutely.
Understand what you believe and
Yes,
believe what you understand.
And do that. And love who you love and stand by who you love. Be loyal to who you love. And, you know, let the chips fall. Because that is where happiness is.
Are you happy?
Yes.
Because you've been true to yourself.
Absolutely. I mean, I think if I have one fear, is that at some point I won't be.
Do you really?
Yes.
Because of convenience or
For whatever
comfort
reason.
or something?
For whatever reason. And then I know I wouldn't be able to live with myself. And I wouldn't be able to have peace. And peace is all that matters.
When have you been the happiest?
Ha! That's a very sly question.
I'm a sly guy.
You are.
Now, come on. This is one time in your...
What do you mean?
But tell me.
Well, but Charlie, I have been happy so much.
No, come on. You're retreating now. Just...
How can I... Okay, I mean, I have been very depressed in my life, off and on. But I've also been extremely happy. I was very happy in Mississippi, of all places, you know, when I was married and my daughter was growing up and I was writing my novels.
Right.
Really happy in California, you know, planting my corn, looking at the redwoods, walking with lovers. I mean, you know, there are all these places. I mean, I was happy in Africa, you know, even making this film about female genital mutilation.
Right.
I was happy because I was there.
Because you thought you were doing the Lord's work.
I was doing my work, Charlie.
I know.
The Lord can do his own work.
No, but you know what I meant by that. That's an expression that says something that ought to be done.
Well, yes, absolutely.
Where is your religious?
I'm a pagan.
What's a pagan?
It's someone who loves nature. And someone
A pagan
who,
is one who loves nature.
yes, and whose spiritual connection is with nature rather than with any ideological
And nature
doctrine.
becomes what then?
The earth and the cosmos. But since we are on the earth, and I may never get to the rest of the cosmos, the earth is it for me. I love it. This is it. This is all the God I care about or want or need. And in the human realm, it would be love. It would be compassion. It would be kindness.
Has there been a book or a teacher that best expresses your own ideas about this?
Not that I know of. Although, you know, all religions have at their root a pagan base. And these are even Buddhism. You know, the Bon religion was actually a pagan religion that was... In fact, you know, when a disciple said to Buddha, does a dog have Buddha nature? Buddha patted the earth and said, moo. That's why moo, M-U, which means mother. Yeah. Which is to say that everything that comes of the earth has Buddha nature, has earth nature, has mother nature. So we all have that foundation. It's just that we have been indoctrinated away from it to the detriment of the earth because we're looking to the sky, which we now know does not have, you know, the big man up there looking down into our bedrooms. And we should have been looking at the earth and caring for it with love and devotion.
What's your favorite essay here?
My favorite essay is the one on religion.
Right. Yeah, oh, it is?
Yes, it is.
So we wandered into the prime...
I led you there.
Local... Yes, I prefer not to think of it that way, if you don't mind.
I know you do.
I prefer not to think that I'm that easy, all right? So I don't want you to leave here with this notion that you've just sort of come in and wrapped me around your little finger there.
Oh, well, no. You've been, you know.
What's next? You're working on a big novel?
Well, I don't know how big it is, Charlie.
Oh, Alice, don't be so negative. Are you working on a novel?
I'm working on a novel.
What's a novel? What's the story?
I never talk about things like that until
Why not?
they're done. Well, because, you know, creativity is something that is very precious, and you have to be very careful about it. Right now, I'm in that place where I am happy writing it. I love my characters. I think about them all the time. And I'm keeping that for myself.
Alice Walker, Writer's Activism. Anything we love can be saved. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.